Hi everybody, welcome to the Starving Artist Diaries. Diaries where I talk about crazy life situations that have actually happened as an artist, a starving artist, and a musician in the making. So if you don't know already, my name is Serena. Hello. Hello everybody. And I currently am still an artist. Not starving as much, but that's for another time. So, fast forward in the past. So, go fast backwards about 9, 10 months. I took a plane from Guatemala to New York. I was hopeful and ambitious that coming to New York was the exact thing that I needed, and I was correct. New York was the energy, the ambition, and the support and the vision that I actually was looking for so long in my life. Realizing that my dreams to become an actress, theater connoisseur, and a musician was exactly what New York could supply me for. But you see, I had no idea how I was going to make it in New York as a musician. Going, busking every day, sitting in the subway, standing, playing guitar, playing music was my vision. But you see, the day prior, all of my wallet identifications were stolen. All of my things, my clothes were stolen. I was at a low point and I didn't know how to get back up. I decided I'm going to take what I have and try to do something with that. And maybe someone will see my situation and help out. That was my plan. And it was a great one. Because let me tell you, the next day I wrote, "Can someone please help me get a free guitar?" as I sang in the middle of the Central Park subway station. As I did, someone saw that sign, "Can somebody help me get a free guitar?" This man with a violin on his back walked past me and looked at me. He says, "I can give you $1." And I said, "Thank you very much." And I kept singing a cappella songs off key and some on key. And as I kept singing and singing, he turned around and he said, "Wait, you need a free guitar?" I said, "I do." And he said, "Well, let me help you." And he turned around and said, "Here's my number. I'd like to meet you in a day or two to give you my guitar." In that moment, something about him was trustworthy. I knew that he was an honest man and I could trust him. There was something about him. Either it was that he was a musician as well, explaining his situation, that he also is in a situation to busk and perform live. And I knew in that moment that he was a musician just like me, trying to make it out of the world. With the violin strapped on his back and his life experience, I just knew, my gut feeling was confirmed, he was a musician. So I said, "Okay, here's my Facebook," and we contacted each other. Within 2 days, we met up at the Central Park Library and met up in person. And who was standing there was Erwin. Erwin with his guitar and his smile. I walked down there and I was overjoyed. I was so happy. It was like God had listened and immediately my prayers were answered. I could not even speak. The fact that I had nothing and I was singing a cappella music, then asking the world for a free guitar if there was one to spare, then the man himself showed up. I was unable to speak and I didn't want to ruin that moment, but I was way too happy to stop. I walked down the stairs and I hugged him and I said, "Thank you so much." We spoke briefly, talked a little bit about meeting up in the future. And in that future, we talked about collaborating and maybe writing a song together. But in that moment, I knew that we both were going to meet again somehow, some way. And 2 weeks later, we did at a brewery. We met up at an open mic. He played the violin, and I did some screamo songs. We hung out, and we had a great time. We met other musicians, and we caught up. "How's it going with busking?" And I said, "You're good. Your guitar is really helping me out." I wasn't as far along as I wanted to be, but I was trying every day. I was taking the guitar wherever I could, and I was making sure of it. I was putting myself out in the world, and I was going and not letting up. I tried different spots in the subway, different places to sing, and putting myself out there every other day with open mics and situations where I knew I could do it. And Erwin was very, very, very wonderful. Every day when I wasn't playing the guitar or busking, I would write in my diaries of the experiences of what it's like to be a busking musician in the hardy city of New York. Every day putting yourself out there. Every day dealing with the police, with rejection. Every day being freezing cold, not knowing if you're going to make a single dollar. The looks, the judgment. Singing songs that are so difficult to sing out loud, knowing that no one really cares, or at least feeling in that moment that no one does. Not having the security that comes with a regular job. Not having the support and the cushion that comes with a community of a work environment was there in that situation too. All of it came face to face and it was overwhelming, but I had Erwin's guitar with me every step of the moment, walking down the subway aisles, playing in the subways themselves. I started to gain confidence in myself, and New York seemed like it was a hardy, harsh, sharky entanglement of competition, but Erwin's guitar led me to feeling like there is kindness and beauty in this bravely, insanely, monster-ishly ride of a adventure and intensity of a city, but at the same time, there's somebody who cared enough to support me. And I was so intensely entangled with trying to be perfect that some days it was underwhelming that I would make no money, but I still tried. And months later, I met a woman at a bar who listened to my stories of meeting people and getting support along the way, talking to other buskers and singing with them in the central station or park or in a subway alleyway, or just meeting other musicians along my journey and my path to becoming a street performer that I was proud of. I met her at a bar, and she was so intrigued by all the stories and all the experiences that I had. She was asking and begging to write an article about that experience, and I said yes at a bar in New York close to the railway, 42nd Street station. It was a quite circle of experience, feeling like someone was listening to me for once, deeply listening, and feeling like all the hard work that I spent towards becoming something, working towards something, was paying off. And that is all due to you, Erwin. Thank you for giving me the guitar. And thank you for seeing something that no one else did, especially when I didn't see it as well. Thank you. And so that is the end of that piece. And there are many more stories to come. Dear Shannon, you're doing it. Dear audience, dear wonderful, amazing, incredible people, thank you for listening to my stories. Many more Starving Artist Diaries to come. I love you. From infinity to you and beyond.